Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope my microphone is working. I guess it is. I've done that too often. Too many often. Okay, today I'm trying a new tea. Kind of earthy a little bit. Not kind of used to that, but since last night getting used to it. This one is Nepal Black Organic. There's a black tea. There are good things brewing in the highlands of Nepal, it says. Like this handmade black tea. Handmade. Handmade. This is second hand. God, somebody drank this already, spit it out, and they made it. From a small family owned tea garden named Junchiabari. Exclusively ours. All right. Okay, great. Interesting. So, today, I had an email from from someone who has been kind enough to send me an email, and I appreciate the videos, and also asked me why is it that I don't address any of these videos specifically for women. While she was very kind and appreciative and about the results that she's getting from the videos, and that she's been watching almost every one of them, and she's going through a certain challenge, relationship challenge. And I mean, she convinced me, or she encouraged me to address the women's directly, while she enjoys everything that is being shared on these videos, but she wants it more addressed directly to the woman, rather than how our videos are set, which is set mostly for my boys, my younger friends, male younger friends. That's how the whole thing started. It's geared towards boys' point of view. But over the time, I realized that there are so many young ladies who write me and talk to me on Skype or on email, and they, share their issues, and we go through it, and they're appreciating about the effectiveness of the videos, and so I can see that there's a place maybe for it, but I mentioned to her that I don't find myself so qualified to talk about how women's point of view is on their relationships, while of course I can understand it, and I can discuss it intelligently, so to speak. But anyhow, I will try to gear the videos in such a way that both boys and girls can use it. But again, my emotions and expertise is to look at things mostly from boys' point of view, but of course I will make sure that it will be evened up, so the girls can also, by reversing the roles, can really benefit from it. But anyhow, if she's watching, to her, yes, I will do my best, and perhaps there will be some issues that I find myself very clear on the importance of it to share with the ladies, and I will. But again, in the meantime, I try to make it usable for both. Again, I hardly find myself that perfectly in tune with ladies' point of view, as much as I try to see the consultation from their angles as well. But anyhow, I'll try. Now, today, what I want to discuss, again, with the boys, but however, again, I will try to make sure it will be interchangeable, and ladies can benefit from it as well. The topic of today's discussion is really not so much different than before, which is geared to a better understanding and why we end up where we end up. I mean, it is one thing to have a problem to break up and feel the emotional challenges of it. And it's another thing to do our best so at least if we do break up, we know that it wasn't because of a bad selection or a wrong selection or unsuitable selection, because everybody is good for somebody unless they're totally wacko. But often it's like you go to I don't know, a store where they say fruits or a store where they say some merchandise. And in the fruit store you see so many kind of fruits. They're all good. They're just different. And depends on what you find suitable to you, you should pick that fruit rather than, oh, I'm a fruit store, they're all fruits, so I pick one. And then I go home and I eat it and I say, oh, I don't like it, or it doesn't suit me well, or too much sugar, too sweet, not sweet enough, or I don't know, whatever else. The tastes and, it wasn't palatable to you or whatnot. So we can't just, based on the fact that everybody is good to somebody or everybody has the appearance of what could satisfy me, we can't simply rely on that. In other words, you can't go to a store and only take half of your shopping list and then expect to come out with everything that you needed. You got to take the whole thing in there. Or let's say you can't go to store and consider only some of the criterias of the cheese that you want to buy or the vegetables you want to buy. Or if you're in a sporting shop, you can't go to a sporting shop and expect a certain criteria of the basketball or soccer ball or clothing or the uniform or whatever it is that you're looking for. You got to know everything about that particular thing that you're looking for. And when you're facing that particular product or thing or the person in our case, you must consider all your criteria. You can't just say, okay, I want a girlfriend to have this kind of hair color and this kind of a look and this kind of a nose and this kind of a eyes and this kind of a height and this kind of a weight and this kind of fitness. These are all physical fitness, which is easily to attain or adjust or decide if it fits our requirements or not, because it's all visual. Quickly you can see the feedback. You see the person, either you like her or you don't like her. And the girl's the same. You see the person, either you like him or you don't. You have certain idea about what you're looking for, right? But is that all that you should be looking for, really? You buy a basketball, for God's sake, maybe you like the texture and the look and color of it, but is that all there is? How does it hold the air? How long does it take until the air really fizzes out of it? How much air you should put in that for the kind of game that you want or for the kind of bounce that you're looking for? What is the material that is made with? What kind of a court you're going to play this? Is it an outside court, inside court? All these little things, and the ones who play basketball, far better than I ever did, can figure out what I'm trying to say. You play tennis, you go buy a racket. Well, yeah, it's got the color you want, the racket, but is it as light or as heavy as you want it to be? Is the diameter of the face, the head of the racket, is as you want it to be? Is the length of it according to what your age and size of the body is? Is the grip size is the right size so it won't turn into your hand when you're trying to play with it? How about the gut? The gut inside, the nylons, the wires. Do they have enough pressure? Is it too loose or is it too hard, too tight? What kind of game do you want to play? Your strokes are geared for a 62-pound pressure, 60, 58, what is it? 70? What is it that it is supposed to be considered? All the points that needs to be considered for you to get the right racket in your hand, so you can at least have chosen. Now if you're going to go into the court and have a shitty game, or you win or lose the game, it shouldn't be you lose the game, it shouldn't be because of at least you didn't do your best, you don't have the right racket. You shouldn't have an excuse coming out of court. All these guys, girls go and go, oh, my racket slipped, or the grip wasn't right, or the pressure of the strings wasn't good enough. Well, that's your problem. Same thing with the girlfriend or the boyfriend that you ladies want to choose. So you look at a girl and you see she's got the hair color, she's got the height, and the kind of a physical shape and all that, and you just elated. Okay, that's what I wanted, because it's all about image. You want a pretty girl walking with you, and it's palatable to you, and it's compatible sexually. You're compatible. You physically you feel compatible. But aren't there other things that you should consider? Like, let's say if you're in sports, is it important for you if she's also in sports or not? She active in sports, she takes care of her own physical being. These are physical things, but let's talk physical things. So is it only okay that she looks good, she has the right height and right age and right weight and facial looks and stuff like this? Or is it also important if she's into sports, or if she's into reading, or if she's into studying, or if she's into being ambitious in business, or she is a career woman? Or are these not important? Okay, let's say you took care of these things. Is that all? Is that all that is important? Is it not important how she feels with you, how she reacts with you? Or is that all that is important? Like everything else is okay, but the fact that she really pays attention to you, she really says nice words to you, she makes you feel wonderful about yourself. So is that what's gonna move you toward choosing her, and not other stuff? What are the other stuff? What about what's in her consciousness? How was she experiencing life? Because we're all what we are in our consciousness, remember? I mean, we could be, you could be comparing yourself with your brother or your sister raised in the same family, or some of your friends raised in the same city, raised in the same block, belong to the same club, let's say, tennis club, country club, or just community center, or same fields that you play soccer in, just on the park. You could be raised in the same vicinity of each other, but does that mean that what you have up here and how you actually interact with the world, based on what you've been exposed to, the kind of programs you watch, the kind of news you watch, the kind of people you encountered, the kind of reaction and actions and interactions you had with what was happening in your life, have they been the same even though you've been raised in the same vicinity? Of course not. That's what makes us all each different. So it is very important to know how this bundle of consciousness was formed. It would be helpful to know what kind of a family each one of you have been raised in. Not that it is really that critical, but I'm talking about things that would give a better chance in choosing the correct mate, whether you're a lady looking for a boyfriend or whether you're a boy looking for a girlfriend. There are many aspects that you should be considering to make sure this consciousness actually would be having a chance to interact with each other properly. Look, mostly boys, we're very careful. I'm sure girls too, but because I'm, just can't really know exactly because I'm a boy, so I just know how most boys go through, what they go through, what I went through, how I used to think, how I was, what makes me tick, and the things that affected me, and how I would look at girls and what I was looking for, and later on find out what was right, what wasn't wrong, and all that. So I have a better grasp of things if I want to discuss that. I don't want to consider myself that I know how girls think as well. It's an art by itself, but I hope that what I'm saying could relate to both. Look, now I forgot what the hell was I trying to say. Sometimes I go off. Give me a minute now. Let me chew my tea. I will remember what the heck was I was trying to say. Look, every one of us, boys or girls, have been raised in such a way, or brainwashed, conditioned through our childhood, that we're constantly supposed to prove ourselves. And it has been very important for us to be considered as someone special. For that, we translate in to how much of an attention we're getting. So we are all very much reactive to attention. Because when we get attention from other people, we've been brainwashed to think that if other people pay attention to us, that means we're important. That means we're counted in. That means we're in the game. That means we're in the play. That means the others think of us something. And we have been brainwashed to think that our value comes according to the attention and affirmations of the others towards us, not about how we see the world, how we see ourselves, how we interact with the world, and how we have educated ourselves, and how we have simply go through life and prepared ourselves. We are basically brainwashed to think that it is, what is important is how the others interact with us, as far as the words they use to talk to us, to make us feel whatever we feel. So when it comes to a girl who may have all the things that we talked about just now, or may be lacking of the things that we talked about just now, or we don't know everything about them. They may or may not have the things that we just talked about. However, what really makes us feel that she's the right one, or if you're a lady, he's the right one, is the words, by the words they use. Because words make you feel. Words carry something that ignites feelings, makes you feel good about yourself or bad about yourself. That's why there's some people that you don't even want to go near them with a 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole. I'm sorry. 10-foot pole, yeah. I must be drunk with this tea. Anyhow, 10-foot pole. So you don't want to even go near them with a 10-foot pole. Okay, 10-meter pole. It's easier to pronounce. But there are people that you don't mind actually sitting down with them and be near them and discuss things and feel comfortable. Not because you like them physically, that may be so, but they make you feel good with the words that they use. They pay a certain attention to you that is very important. Now, if we take that into boyfriend-girlfriend situation, or boy or girl situation when they meet, when the girl is so affectionate and when the girl is so kind in words and pays attention and pays compliments to the boy, I am telling you, that boy, whether those compliments or attention or feelings are genuine or not, that's beside the point. What it does to the boy is that the boy actually eats him up wholeheartedly and asks for more, because that is exactly what he's been brainwashed all through his life, that if you want to know if you're somebody, then you got to be hearing it from girls that they say good things about you. So if you're hearing all those good things about you, whether she's genuine or not, it doesn't matter. Let's say she's genuinely interested in you. But the fact that she's expressing herself in those words that are making you feel wonderful about yourself, you will not find the need or necessity, or wouldn't even care about finding to see if she has any more of characteristics that is on your list. It's just like you go to buy a basketball and you like the color yellow, and you see basketball is yellow. You don't give a shit now about if it's got enough air, how long the air stays in it, how it bends, what fabric. You just wanted that color of yellow, a basketball that is yellow. Your brain is totally now focused on that, and the desire of having that, feeling the way that that basketball makes you feel, it overrides any other criteria that you might have for choosing the best basketball for you, and you know what they are, but you will just not care, because the momentary pleasure of having that kind of a ball that suits and meets the kind of a thing that is so important to you, that makes you feel so good about. The color part of the basketball, before you really play with the basketball, is pretty much, I guess, what attracts us. If it's not basketball, some other things. But the aesthetics things makes you feel something about things. Now, the words and the behavior of a woman, if you're a woman, man, towards you is what makes you feel something. And when you feel something, something of importance, warmth, accepted, affirmed, confirmed, then pretty much that fills the void in you. And when the void is filled and you're satisfied, you feel great, guess what? Nothing else really matters. Nothing else really matters at that moment, because you're satisfied with the momentary pleasure that you're receiving, momentary affirmations that you're receiving, the important, confident feelings that you receive from the interaction that she has with you, which means you will not care about anything else that should be there, because the importance of what is there overrides whatever it is that you may think it should be there. At the moment, you don't care, because you're totally satisfied. The emotion makes you feel important. That's what satisfies you. You don't care about anything else. However, the way she is at the first few days or few weeks or few months of the relationship is not the way she's going to feel or express, because we all have our novelties, and the novelty makes us and makes them, the boys and the girls, both behave at their best and the highest heights of emotions. So when that initial interest and initial feeling good and initial expressions of emotions and warmth between both passes, then what's left is, are we compatible? What about consciousness? Are they actually compatible and creating comfort? Or now that the words and the physical interaction and the affirmation of emotion and the nice words and kind words that we used to tell each other for the first while, now that they're gone, or they're kind of normalized, or they're just like not a novelty anymore, and we kind of felt satisfied from this person, that we are okay. Now, are the other ingredients that is needed for the racket to really play good in our hands, the grip, the strings, the height, and everything else? Now we're used to the color and the shape of the racket and the brand of the racket, but how about the string pressure? How about how long the string is going to last? How many games going to last? How about the grip size? How about the weight of the racket? Did we consider all of that also when we bought it, or when we actually got involved with this girl, or you, if you're a girl, with this guy? Did you consider all that? Or you were so smitten with that emotional part that was making you feel so good and important about yourself. Like, imagine if you're going with a guy and the guy says, you know, obviously we're talking about ladies. This is the part I'm interested in, ladies. So you're a lady and you're going out with a guy and the guy says, "Oh, you look so beautiful today. It's amazing the way you've done your hair. It's just makes me feel like I can do anything." How does that make you feel? You feel so complimented and elated that this guy thinks of you so highly that has affected you in a way that he's willing to climb mountains. So the fact that he has made you understand that you have such effect on him makes you feel empowered, makes you feel important, right? But let's say after a while you see there are other things that you didn't consider, like, I don't know, he's not always happy, or he's not really interested in working so much, or he's got glitches of bad manners, or the way he wears his clothes, or the way he talks sometimes, or how quickly he gets angry, or how he looks at other girls when you guys are out there. All these things and millions of other stuff that just comes through knowing each other would have a lot to do with how his consciousness has been put together, which is not visible while you guys going through lovey-dovey things at the beginning. So the words should not cover up all the other things that you should be looking for, which is on your list when you're trying to choose a girlfriend or a woman, a boyfriend. Now, so please consider all these things, because once you are filled with what's missing in your life, which is the attention, which is the compliments, which is making you feel good about yourself, through these words and affections, you will simply forget about anything else that is important, that is not compatible, but you won't even see it, and you go on with creating a relationship. And guess what? If you started it wrong, you may get used to that person that wasn't really the right choice, but it made you feel good at the beginning, so you chose her on that basis, and then eventually you go through and you see, oh, well, it's not really exactly what I wanted because of many other factors that I didn't consider, and you all can figure it out what those factors could be: education, family, work, ambitions, and future plans, and how she's lived, how he has lived, what he's making out of himself, what he's doing, what his plans are, what she's plans are, what she's doing, and all these things, the encounters and lifestyle and all that, which you didn't consider. Now suddenly you're beginning to consider them. But what? Now it's a bit difficult, because you've gotten used to that person, even though he or she is not the right partner for you. You just realized it. Even though the consciousness is not compatible, you just realized it. But while you were trying to realize it, you got used to this person. And we're human beings. We have emotions. We feel responsible for them. We feel we're close to them. We feel there's part of something, some kind of a time investment and energy investment put together. That's now going to become very difficult to break it off. And even though if it's totally not the right person, but still there's been a time that you spent, and it becomes more painful and more difficult. It's still going to have its challenges when you go through a possible necessary change, a breakup, and so on, change of direction. That's why it's so important for you to take all your shopping list, all your criteria and characteristics on what you want to purchase or what you want to shop in the produce department or in any other department, sports department or any other department, with you, and go for it. And don't be so smitten or so be impressed with the emotions of confirmation, affirmation, and attention that you receive on the outset from someone, and then don't make that to be the basis and the foundation of the way that you choose your partner. I've talked a lot on that basis. I want you to ponder and consider, and I hope to talk to you soon.